Welcome back to V-Rule. Today is Sunday. On our Sunday slip, we are starting right here, right on these special illustration rares and illustration rares on some of the latest sets, starting with Stellar Crown. And I've just pulled out a tiny sample of some of the bigger hits of Stellar Crown, moving all the way up to Journey Together, because that's what's available right now. We do have the end of the month coming up here where Destined Rivals will be released, and I would expect to see the same kind of scenario. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the dip. The dip down, the idea to not FOMO and hold out just a little bit. Have some patience. I mean, who's been saying this and trying to prove this point for the past, 8 months plus, but especially in the past 8 months, I've been really on this idea of no FOMO. Yeah, that's me. I've been saying that. And looking at this here, Squirtle, great illustration rare. It's really come down. I mean, we were at $73 in early March, and now we are sub $60. My goodness, $58.90 on the market price. And if you look into the near mint options, it's a little better than that. I mean, okay, $58.98 here. So we're actually right on point when you get into some of these with the shipping included. So it's right on point there at that like $59 mark. I don't know why some of these jumped right up to the near 70 bucks on the start there. Interesting. And this Squirtle has overtaken the previous chase card, the other turtle, the Terapagos EX here out of Stellar Crown, the special illustration rare. Pokemon's done a really good job with having illustration rares and special illustration rares, and I've been feeling like that's not as true in these most recent sets of Journey Together, and even from what I've seen from Destined Rivals. But I think there's hope because that black and white era of Pokemon is coming back here, and I think we'll see some interesting artworks coming out of that. Looking at this one here, the Terapagos, under 50 bucks. Oh my goodness. This is one I've been wanting because I think it's got so much going on. It's like comfortable chaos, you know? I like the artwork and how crazy it is, even though I'm not a big fan of this Pokemon in particular, and the rainbow border really elevates some of these. So the rainbow cards in general throughout the entire Sword and Shield era didn't have as much of a following. For whatever reason, I think the alt arts just outweighed it, but bringing this rainbow border into the Scarlet and Violet era, it's really added a new level of intrigue to this because of the kind of the cracked ice hollow look around it and that rainbow border. Anyways, sticking to the prices here. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. We're at $47 on some of these lower listing ones here, and that's where the market is saying for this. It's ridiculously low compared to where it's been for a while. Bulbasaur, another one, very good. It felt like it wasn't going to come down from that $60 range anytime soon, and now we're at $46 all of a sudden. So if you're looking to pick up some Stellar Crown, not a hard set to master, not an expensive set to master either. Although if you're going to open sealed, it kind of makes it a little bit more difficult. So looking at these, I think these are in a pretty good spot right now, and they are on the downward trend, so keep an eye on them. They could go further. Onto our Surging Sparks cards here, where the boom was really starting to take off. The Alolan Executor, I think I talked about this last week, but it's still on the decline here, under $40 on this. Pretty wild to see. It's like right at 40 on the lowest listings. Pretty amazing to see that special illustration rares and some of these Pokemon here are actually coming down that far. The Pikachu EX Gold card. Gold traditionally does not have a huge excitement behind it, but when you throw in there the idea that it's Pikachu, it did have quite a bit going on. Let me pull it back to 6 months. I mean, the FOMO spike was almost $200, and even still, sitting around $100 for quite a long time, fluctuating a little up and down, but now finally coming down to about $62 on this one. Pretty nice to see. The Pikachu EX, the set chase here from Surging Sparks. Obviously, Pikachu is the Pokemon mascot and a fan favorite. Wasn't a fan of this artwork to begin with, but I think it's finally getting to a more realistic zone for that Pikachu tax. The fact that this is the chase of the set, the modern going crazy, the boom and everything, and you know, snowballed in. It's all bundled into that same concept of Pokemon being just a wild hobby right now. $284. This is very pleasant to see. A lot of sales lately on this one because of that price drop, so we might see a leveling off. We could still see a dip down. Who knows how far this correction is going to go, this recovery of the hobby will go. I think a lot of scalpers are leaving, and people are starting to get a little bit more realistic about where their collection dollars are being spent. And we've seen this before. We saw this in 2020, 2021 with the Sword and Shield era, where there was the big massive boom, celebrations came out, everything exploded. But it was really crazy because so many people were just flooding into the hobby. And it was that mass of people that made the demand go way up, the supply go way down, and in true simple economic fashion, the prices just went out of control. And that's what happened here. We had the demand go way up, the scalpers jumped in, and everybody and their mother was getting in on it. And we had a lot of people who carried over from the Sword and Shield boom coming back, and a lot of people who were entering, and then you had Pokemon Pocket. All of this stuff culminates into a huge, crazy swing in the market. And that market has to correct. It has to come back down. I mean, I remember during the Sword and Shield era, we had this massive boom, but after a while, you'd find Evolving Skies on the shelves over and over and over again, to the point where you're like, there's so much good stuff coming out. Why would I be getting this? And a lot of people passed on it, but you don't have to pass on it now, because we all know Evolving Skies is a hot set, and you can have a 3-pack blister. I'm trying to get to 6,000 subscribers. Once we get there, I'm giving this away to one lucky subscriber. I'm also going to be giving away 5 Pokemon mystery card lots to 5 additional winners. All you got to do is be a part of the channel, but make sure you comment over on this video here. This is the one where you need to leave an additional like and comment, so that way you're officially entered to win on that 6,000 subscriber giveaway. In the meantime, be a part of the channel, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for your chance to win. Of course, I do post 7 days a week, so you can be in tune with what's going on in the Pokemon hobby at large. Continuing on to where everything really blew up, we have the Leafeon EX out of Prismatic Evolutions. Now, this set has been hot from the start, and every time there's a drop or a restock or anything like that, it sells out instantly, because the demand has not come close to being met. It really has not yet. And maybe over time, maybe over this year, maybe into next year, we will finally get into that demand being met, or there's so much else to be distracted with or be focused on, or being a little bit more specific about your collection dollars, that you won't be just leaning in on this particular Pokemon set. Although it would look like and appear that this is going to be the new Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies is clear winner and the front runner of the Sword and Shield era. Prismatic Evolutions, it may be safe to say, could be the Scarlet and Violet front runner. I don't want to call anything out. I don't like to make predictions other than obvious predictions. Don't FOMO. That's an obvious prediction. When something's coming out, don't be the crazy one to pay top dollar, because Pokemon wants to make money. They need to do the printing, and the first wave may or may not satisfy the market. Fine, they'll print more, especially on main series sets. But I think that's true for Prismatic Evolutions as well. And that non-FOMO mentality is helping out a lot. These are expensive. I can't afford any of these right now. $400 on the Leafeon EX. Going to the Umbreon. Good to see this slope coming way down still, under the $1,300 mark. Now we're at $1,295. Okay, not amazing, but it is better, and even under $1,200 for some listings. So it's still in that downward trajectory. People are trying to cash out while they can. I think this is easily one that you should keep an eye on if you're looking for it. You have alternate languages really pulling that price down, but you have a lot of people who are going to want to cash out as best they can. If they could pull $1,200 when everybody else is trying to get $1,290, $1,250, whatever the particular market price could be, then they're going to do that, and you can take on that win there. But the more that happens, the more it should come down. So keep an eye on it. I would watch a little bit more diligently. Sylveon EX, similar story. We had kind of a climb coming up here in April into the early portion of May, and it was too much. It's too much for the market. Yes, this was an alternative, a good alternative over the Umbreon, because it's the number 2 card, so it was building up, but we had to correct. We have to. It was just getting out of control. Currently, we're sitting at 515 on this one, and I would keep an eye on it because it could come down even further. Prismatic Evolutions has a lot of room to move in our favor as collectors. Articuno, Journey Together. Great illustration rare. Nice to see that it came out of that crazy FOMO price of $60, and we got to a low of like 23 and almost 24, and now it's cranking up just a little bit. We're at $26 here, so keep an eye on this one. It might be at its leveling off point, but Journey Together is still relatively new. I still wouldn't be jumping on it because there's going to be more coming out, and we've seen Journey Together was kind of overhyped, piggybacking off of the recent boom, and that kind of fell flat for a lot of people. A lot of scalpers, or at least if you look all over social media, they went nuts picking it up, and now they can't give it away. So I wanted to pull sealed product, but I've been sticking with this theme here of just a few individual cards, so I didn't look deeply into that today, but Journey Together has a lot of movement in the downward trajectory there. Volcanion EX out of Journey Together. Not a crazy fan favorite Pokemon, but an interesting artwork. I think it's working here. It's been actually somewhat stable for the the majority of the set release here in the past 2 months, because that FOMO price is the obvious don't do it, give it a release, and then see where it lands. And in that $40 range is kind of where it's been sitting, a little up, a little down, but around $40. So this one might be worth keeping an eye on if it's something you're wanting to do, if you're going to master the set or something. I foresee Journey Together being as easy to master as Stellar Crown. The chase card, being Lily Clefairy, is going to push you a little bit higher, a little bit hotter than some of those other ones out of Stellar Crown, although the downward trajectory is promising here, sitting at 158, 160, somewhere in there. So not horrible for a chase card of an entire set. Make sure you check the description below or go earlier in the video. I tell you exactly what you need to do for your chance to win the Evolving Skies 3-pack blister, along with the 5 Pokemon mystery card lots. But at a base level, of course, you want to be a part of the channel. So be sure that you are going to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. In one way or another, whether it's a long form video or a short, I do post 7 days a week. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.